Welcome to the Headspace and Tasting Podcast, where we talk manhood, tell stories, and discuss the stuff that matters to us one sip at a time. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Matt.
How are you doing?
I'm happy.
Yeah, me too. It's a good, beautiful day out. We had a great morning. Little hike.
Mm-hmm. The calm before the storm.
Yeah.
You know, the winter's last gasp of breath.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in for 2 days.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, you know, we broke a record this past week, 86 degrees.
Oh, did it get that high?
Yes.
Wow.
So we broke a record, not broken since the late 1800s. And then come Sunday night into Monday, Tuesday, we'll be in the teens with wind chills in the single digits.
Wonderful. And
then by Wednesday, the day after Tuesday, we'll be back in the 50s and in the 70s by the end of the week. You gotta love Missouri weather. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yep, keeps it interesting.
Keeps us healthy.
Yeah, true.
Our immune systems are constantly on alert for whatever's happening.
Yeah. Should be a great spring. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it was, 39, 40 this morning when we started our hike, about 6:30. Mm-hmm. And then by the time we ended up, we're well into the 40s, probably 50s, I think, at the end. It was still kind of chilly in the shade, right?
I don't think it was that warm.
40s. But It wasn't bad.
No. I had to do some fast walking that first mile to get the blood moving in my body.
Yeah, I felt that. I am...
all you young, slow people.
I'm hurting. That's for sure, man. This that's the longest I've walked, definitely, since my foot surgery. Usually it's just been 10, 20-minute walks, trying to build up. And today I was like, well, let's just let it rip, man. See what happens.
Yeah.
Get out there.
Well, happy Pi Day.
Oh, yeah. 3:14.
Yeah.
Okay.
3.14. I don't remember how many. I used to be able to memorize pi out to, I think, 7 digits.
Yeah.
I can't go that far anymore.
I know it's 3.14. That's all you need to know.
Good enough. Well, I think pi is one of those that's actually infinite.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
There is no end.
Yeah.
Even the fanciest mathematicians, I don't think, has ever reached the end yet.
How do they know?
I don't know.
They could be just making it up, and we're all just too dumb to know they're lying to us.
I don't know. It's a mathematician. He must be right.
Yeah. Trust him. Trust the science, right, Kevin?
Right. Other than that, it's the Ides of March.
Ides of March, yeah.
Which we'll get into in a second.
Mm-hmm. Coming up on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So we have Cottleville parade is going on today.
It's already over.
Over?
Yeah.
What about, and then...
But they're having their party all day long.
Yeah, they'll have a party. And then you have the, downtown parade, downtown St. Louis, and then the Dogtown parade after that.
Mm-hmm. And then opening day is coming up for the St. Louis Cardinals, and they always have their celebrated kegs and eggs.
Yeah.
Which I am pretty sure there is nowhere else in the country that celebrates beer as much as St. Louis does. We come up with every excuse in the book to come up with an idea to drink beer.
Yeah. Got to support the hometown brewery, man.
Yeah.
King of beers.
Yep.
I had Budweiser last night. My son and I sit down every Friday for beers and budget.
Did I ever tell you the story about the Royal Hibernian parade in Dogtown that I attended?
You did tell me, but I don't think you told it on the show.
One year I was able to get to the Royal Hibernian parade, which is on St. Pat's Day, and goes through the Dogtown area of Missouri, or St. Louis. And on one of the floats is the Archbishop or Cardinal, I forget what the level is for St. Louis.
Archbishop.
And he is on the float, and everybody's cheering, and he's giving the sign of the cross to people as he goes down and all that. And I happened to be near the end of the parade route, so I was able to see what happened after. Because as soon as he got done, and he came down off the float, he was immediately handed a big mug of beer and was cheering with everybody else and just sucking it down. You know.
So what year was that? I wonder who the Archbishop was that.
That was 2000 and let's say 203.
All right, let's see if I can find it.
If you say his name, I'll remember.
Leo Burke.
No, I don't remember.
December 2nd, 2003, Leo Burke. Oh, wait. No, that's the Pope.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Cardinal Justin Francis Regali.
There you go.
Regali?
That sounds familiar. I know the name, but I don't know if that was when I was there.
He became a cardinal. He was the archbishop for most of 2003.
Okay.
And then he became a cardinal.
Then would be him.
Regali.
Mm-hmm.
Not Irish, but enjoying the Irish holiday.
As a good Catholic would.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you go to a Catholic church for Lent, for fish fries, and they serve beer.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Of course.
You don't see that in other Catholic churches around the country. You
No?
see it here in St. Louis.
I've never been to another Catholic church anywhere. I just thought it was a normal Catholic thing. Beer on every...
I don't think so. I think it's unique to this area.
Huh.
And then there is always a pardon, or I forget what they call it, some kind of little thing that they write out to give you permission to drink beer on, I forget which day of the year it is.
Oh.
Maybe St. Patrick's Day.
Weird.
So I don't know what their stuff's called, but yeah.
So in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we are drinking an Irish whiskey today, which we found is maybe not officially an Irish whiskey.
Oh, right.
We don't. It's called the Sons of Erin Irish Whiskey. It is aged and bottled by Restless Spirits Distilling Company, but it's actually distilled in Ireland. It says product of Ireland, but Restless Spirits Distilling Company is in Kansas City, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the name of the Great Northern something?
The Great Northern Distillery in Dundalk, Ireland.
Okay.
And over there, it is, they distill it over there. They put it in some kind of container. I don't know if it's a general barrel, stainless. I have no idea.
It's probably plastic jugs.
And then they ship it from there to here in Kansas City, where it's aged in freshly emptied Breckenridge bourbon barrels. And they bring it, their little catch on their website is born in Ireland, enjoyed in the Midwest.
Oh, okay. That's a good spin.
Yeah.
So does it technically qualify as an Irish whiskey?
Well, I had to look that up because I don't know what the qualifications are. And I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Because the requirements are, number one, must be produced in Ireland, made from a mash of malted barley and other grains.
Okay.
Distilled to an alcohol content of no more than 94.6% alcohol by volume. Aged in wooden casks for a minimum of 3 years. Bottled at a minimum of 40% alcohol by volume. And must not contain any additives except for water and caramel coloring.
Caramel coloring.
They actually, well, if you look at what we're drinking.
Yeah. But if it's aged in a used bourbon barrel, that should pick up the coloring from that. But
I think that's what that did.
This is almost clear.
Right, but I think that's where they got their color from, was the barrel.
This is not a caramel colored, I don't think.
Oh, no. It's lighter than hay.
Straw to clear.
Yeah, it's in between that.
This is aged 4 years. It's 92 proof.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unusual aroma and taste. It's not like Jameson, which I'm not a fan of at all. When I smelled it, it smelled like varnish remover or paint remover, kind of. I got some cereal aromas, like dry Cheerios, like, you know, the plain Cheerios.
Yeah.
When you just open the bag, it's kind of like that. But for the most part, it's the varnish remover.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of experience with Irish whiskeys.
No,
so, you know, we already know that we're not going to use the flavor wheel today because it doesn't match anything. But for me, the nose was kind of like a rich vanilla and tree fruit, like pears and apples. as
like,
far as the smell. And
like
then,
the vanilla concentrate from like that little bitty bottle. When you smell it, it's like so sweet. It's kind of off-putting.
Right. Taste? It's not watery.
No.
I did get a little hint of clove with it, and then you said like the varnish or whatever.
Yeah.
And for me, the finish was very slight on pepper. It is so mellow.
Yeah, I picked that up. It was like,
and it lingers like I somehow accidentally got a little bit of WD-40 stuck in my mouth when I was spraying something. So
I picked up a little bit of marshmallow when I was tasting. Not a toasted marshmallow, like I don't know what you would call it, raw.
A marshmallow.
Yeah, like a raw marshmallow.
It's just a marshmallow.
It's very sweet to me. Not much else to it, honestly. I guess this is something you would probably put in a Irish car bomb drink or something, like take shots of it.
Well, I do think it would be better mixed than drinking alone.
What would you mix it with, though? Because it's already pretty sweet. Like maybe a tonic water with a lime or lemon or something?
I have no idea. I'm not a mixologist, but weird. I don't think does very well on its own.
No, it gives me the feeling when I'm drinking, it's like a little bit of heartburn feeling in my throat, like a little bit of reflux type.
I feel like it's going to eat my stomach out.
Yeah.
Even though there's just nothing to it.
Let's look up Irish whiskey cocktails.
It's not even, there's nothing even there close to even the mildest of bourbons.
Yeah. Irish mule. Irish coffee, of course. Irish whiskey mixes well with citrus, ginger, fruit, and coffee.
Yeah.
Here's one called the Irish Maid. 2 ounces of Irish whiskey, ½ ounce of elderflower liqueur, 3/4 ounce lemon juice, 3/4 ounce simple syrup, and muddled cucumber.
Your statement about giving coffee a kick, like, here, let's flavor the coffee a little bit.
Yeah. I can see it.
Yeah.
Like if you were to put bourbon in coffee, it would be like, ugh.
Right. Someone's going to pull a little flask out of their coat pocket and pour it in there. So not enough for you? I'm going to give you some more.
To me, this is closer to vodka than whiskey but
yeah, good point.
Yeah, good try, guys. It's a product of Missouri, so that's nice. 2 in a row for us.
Yep. I'm not there are some whiskeys, but I don't have any. It's all Scotch.
Yeah.
Whiskeys that I'm familiar with. Irish whiskeys I'm not, except the Jameson, like you mentioned. Oh, and maybe Redbreast. Redbreast, I think, is an Irish whiskey.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I thought that was a Scotch. Yeah, Jameson is like you do shots of it when you're 21, 22 type of thing. It's not something you'd sit and sip. I don't think. Some people might be your jam. I don't know.
I don't know if I have the authority to rate it.
Well, I'm rating it based off my opinion. And
okay, well, I'm giving it a 1.
Well, you spoiled. Nobody's going to stick around to the end of the show now, dude.
Well, I don't know that they do, but I don't want to waste my time at the end of the show talking about
it's a
this
1.
product.
It's a 1 for me, too.
So I figured I'd just get it out of the way and let's enjoy the rest of the show.
It was $25, $26, something like that at Schnucks. And it has a cool looking bottle, and that's about it.
I don't even know if it would pair well with corned beef and cabbage.
I don't think so. I would rather drink a Budweiser.
Right. Yeah. To go with corned beef and cabbage.
Yeah, I like Guinness. Guinness is good.
That's a beer.
It's a beer. That's about it. I like Irish beer. The red, the Killian's Red or Irish lagers. They're good. Not so much their whiskey.
I think Dave told that story when he came out of Iraq or Afghanistan. I forget which tour it was.
Oh, they had to stop
Iraq.
in Ireland?
They did a layover there, and they were authorized 1 beer, and it was his first one a little over a year, and he just Loved it.
Yeah, I bet that tastes so good. All right. What are we going to talk about today, Kevin, besides this Irish moonshine?
Well, I did mention the Ides of March.
Yeah, okay.
Beware the Ides of March. We've all heard it.
Yeah.
Does anybody ever even know what Ides means?
The 15th. There's a special day.
It's kind of like mid-month. It means like middle.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, so middle of the month. It doesn't have to be anything, but yeah, it's 14, 15 March.
Right.
Right, tomorrow.
Made famous by William Shakespeare, right? And
yes. His play, which was Julius Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to have a good description of Shakespeare's influence on Hollywood, there's two really good movies out there. The first one is Cleopatra, back in 1963.
Oh.
With Richard Burton. He played Mark Antony. And Elizabeth Taylor. She was Cleopatra.
You don't think the Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes qualifies as a good?
No, because that was medieval. That wasn't.
That was terrible.
Then. But that's a really good movie. That movie will portray Rome and Julius Caesar from, Julius Caesar when he's still alive, killed, all the way up to the death and defeat of Mark Antony by Octavian. And then also the HBO miniseries. Did you ever see the miniseries Rome?
Yes.
When it came out?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really good portrayal as well, if you can get past all the sex scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
But I did like that miniseries. That miniseries went really well with, again, Julius Caesar at the beginning, all the way up to...
Yeah, I liked how they talked about the Roman soldiers, like their term of service and becoming a citizen and like coming home from the campaigns and stuff like that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I don't think we would even pay attention to this day about what happened with Julius Caesar and all of that if it wasn't for William Shakespeare.
I agree.
He made that whole thing famous.
Yeah.
You know, the assassination of Julius Caesar when he gets stabbed by up to 60 guys in the Roman Senate.
Yeah.
And, they had to take turns. That way everyone was one for all for one kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And, you had the classic statement, et tu, Brute, and you, Brutus, you betrayer.
Yeah,
you're
Brutus
my best friend kind of deal.
Right.
But the death of Julius Caesar officially was the official death of the Roman Republic.
Yeah.
And after that, you had a triumvirate was formed with Octavian, who was a nephew of Julius Caesar, and Mark Antony, and another dude named Marcus Lepidus. You had the three of them, and they divided up the Roman Empire into threes. And then, just like everybody else in power, they're all going, wait a minute. Why would I want to do that? I want to get the whole Roman Empire. So then it created a whole Roman Civil War that lasted, I think, for upwards of 10 years before it was done.
Wow.
And then Octavian ended up defeating Mark Antony in a big naval battle, then a land battle, and invaded Egypt. As a result, took down Cleopatra. She committed suicide. Classic, getting bitten by an asp.
Right, yeah.
And Octavian, when he conquered Egypt, instead of making it part of the Roman Empire, that was his personal dominion.
Oh.
When he first took it over. But when he took it over, Octavian became the Emperor Augustus when he officially became Emperor of Rome.
Yeah.
And he opened up Pax Romana, which was 200 years of Roman peace.
Yeah.
And that was, the height of the Roman Empire at that point, not necessarily for land mass, but for prosperity and everything that was going on. He banned divorce as a way for clean up some of the social ills of what was going on there. And he had most of the Roman Senate killed, had them all killed in front of the shrine to Julius Caesar, had them all killed at the foot of it.
Wow.
And that ushered in the Roman Empire.
Okay.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of people, it's like a resurgence now, the Roman Empire, about this resurgence of masculinity and the honor. But that's kind of troubling because I think the Nazis did the same thing, didn't they? Like emulated the Roman Empire. And
well, I guess we did too. I found that you mentioned it, and I wasn't even thinking about it until just now. But back in the early 30s, I want to say 1931, something like that, the Mercury dime was minted by the U.S. Mint, and it had, the bust of Mercury on it, the winged god kind of deal. And on the back, you had the eagle with the arrows and the olive branch. Mm-hmm. Mussolini picked up on that, who was the dictator in Italy at the time, and picked up on it and adopted the Mercury symbol, just like what we had on the dime, for his own. Well, that became a bad thing for the United States. Yeah. And we actually passed a law to get rid of the Mercury dime, but it didn't take effect until 1946, after Roosevelt died, and it became the face of Roosevelt that we have on it today. So it's not the first.
Is the architecture of Washington, D.C. and all those buildings, are those more Greek or Roman?
I think they were more Greek.
Okay. Because that's kind of what the Greek republicanism, the form of government that we formed was more Greek, right?
Well, that's one of the beauties of the Romans when they were building their empire. Mm-hmm. They liked Greek architecture and things like that. But the Romans were a little bit more practical. So the Greeks would build these buildings with these marble columns, which were great. The Romans would build concrete columns and wrap them in marble.
Yeah, a little bit cheaper. But there's still Roman roads that function today.
Built better than ours.
Aqueducts are still standing. All that stuff. There's a lot of Roman architecture still standing.
Yeah, and I don't think they use many of the aqueducts because at that time they were lined with lead.
Yeah, they're not using them today.
So everybody was drinking leaded water.
But it's wild when you see them doing construction on a part of Rome or Italy. They'll be digging, and all of a sudden there's this brick or stone paved road that all they got to do is clean the dirt off of it, and it's fine.
Yeah, and they built the roads not for trade, but to move the military.
Right, yeah. They were probably well-traveled.
Similar to Hitler and the Autobahn.
And then Truman, who copied it. Right?
Eisenhower,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then that highway project started right here in St. Charles, Missouri.
That's right.
The international, or the U.S. highway system.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of influence.
Yeah. And still today.
There were some interesting comments on here from the play, Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
I think I'd throw out a couple here real quick. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings.
Underlings, huh? Coming from Julius Caesar saying he's an underling?
No, this was Cassius, who was one of the people that stabbed him.
So they're saying they were underlings to Caesar.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think it also says a little bit about who we are. We all think that we're in charge or we're going to do something really, and we're just underlings under the stars kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone greater than you. Doesn't matter how great you think you are. There's always going to be someone greater.
Yeah. Yeah, back when I was racing cars, that was the saying. There's always somebody faster out there. Mm-hmm. You think you got the fastest car in town, but it's not true.
Then there was, cowards die many times before their deaths.
Yeah, that's a good line.
The valiant never taste of death but once. That was Julius Caesar.
That's good.
Then there was another quote from Cassius. Yon Cassius has a clean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous. It's an interesting statement.
Yeah, that reminds me of something from the Bible.
Because we always talk about overthinking.
Right.
paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
And he is saying that because you think too much, you are dangerous.
Dangerous.
Like you're going to cause trouble, I guess. You're always plotting, waiting to get your hooks on something.
Yeah.
Take advantage of someone who's down.
Keep going.
And then you had Mark Antony, cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, I don't think we have the stomach for war these days. But if you really want to go to town, you're making a statement to everybody else around you. And so far, all this stuff that's going on with so-called epic fury, we've wiped out every bit of military and killed every target known to man out there, and we blew up over 30,000 different targets, and still the Iranians have frozen the Strait of Hormuz. Now, how is that possible?
And they're still getting these cluster bomb missiles over to Israel.
Yeah.
And like, come on, man, you're blowing smoke up our butts with this.
Exactly.
Like, quit. I don't understand. I don't get it. This chest beating and
it doesn't work.
You're not fooling anybody at all. The people who hate you are going to hate you no matter what. The people who love you are going to love you no matter what. Just tell the truth. But that's the old saying, that the truth is the first victim of every war, right? So,
well, I think that's what leads to them too.
Absolutely.
We forgot what truth was.
Yeah. So we've lost 7 American service members. I think they were all Army, weren't they?
Well, I think we're at 13 now.
13?
13 total.
Yeah.
You had those Army, but then you had the 6 from the Air Force in the KC-135 that went down.
There you go. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That was confirmed.
Man.
I think it ran into another plane, another 135.
Really?
I think that's what happened. Because they showed up. I mean, they're not talking about it yet, but immediately after, some pictures were released showing the top of a tail of another 135 that was shorn off.
Doggone it.
And you had a missile hit a U.S. airbase in Saudi Arabia that damaged 5 other refuel planes.
Damn.
Geopolitically, I wonder, because it's going to be a war of attrition on ammo. Yeah. I'm surprised we're not flying around Apache helicopters if we control the air and just use bullets over $30 million missiles to take things out.
But the missiles look cooler on TV, man.
True. You can get pictures.
Right.
Yeah. And then you have the Marine Expeditionary Unit that just left Japan, headed towards the Middle East.
And that's 2,000 to 2,500.
Yeah, 2,500, right? I think. But, if I'm China, I'm going, the U.S. has all their missiles depleted. They're actually pulling from other countries to rebuild. And now there are 2,500 Marines plus a Navy task force gone from Japan.
I don't know, man. It's like we said on multiple shows, God's in control, and that's all I know for sure. Everything else is just guesswork.
Yeah.
And you got to really be careful about who or what you put your faith in and trust, I just had a, incident with St. Peter's police where they were putting up flock cameras, and I was like, why are there's cameras on every single light post in this intersection, but they have cops in plain clothes, which is super weird to me. Like, why isn't this like a maintenance crew or the flock people doing it?
What's a flock camera? It's
a license plate reader, but it's also a surveillance camera that can record video and audio. It uses AI for facial recognition and all that to read your license plate and send alerts to. But I was just like, how much? Like, what are we doing? Like, how much crime in St. Peter's, Missouri? Do we have that kind of crime to justify more surveillance by the government?
No, I don't know.
It's just crazy to me, man. To me, I think what it is, they have money in their budget. They had to spend it so they could ask for more money next year. So they're just like, hey, let's buy some flock cameras.
I remember in the mid-2000s going to the St. Charles Convention Center for a gun show.
Mm-hmm.
And I parked my car, and as I'm getting out, I see a police car driving up and down every single aisle. And I saw these fancy devices on the trunk of the car. I'm going, what are those? That's what it was. I learned what it was.
That's insane.
From that point on, I never parked my car at a gun show.
Yeah.
I've always parked it somewhere else and walked.
So the people, like, if I talked about this publicly with other people, they would be like, well, if you don't do anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. So what's the big deal? Okay, well, who gets to decide what you're doing is right or wrong? All it takes is to get the wrong person in power, and it's over. If you trust the cops to be the deciders of that, you're in for a rude awakening when you get on the wrong side.
If it doesn't go their way.
Yeah. But, man, the only thing we can do, man, just pray and try not to worry. I don't know what else. I mean, the stuff in Iran, I keep going back and forth with it. Like, is it a good thing and a bad thing? Is it neutral? It's definitely one thing for sure. It's out of my control. And worrying about it is not going to change anything.
Well, then you keep talking about these so-called sleeper cells.
That's what I worry about.
Going to come up here in the U.S. And since Epic Fury, we've had 2 known that I know of.
Yeah, at least 2. Yeah. Well, we had the attempted bombing in New York City at that protest. There was like a protest.
Yeah. All right. So we've had 3.
And then the other 2 were Michigan, the Jewish temple in Michigan.
Yes.
Do we know if that guy was?
He was.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. And then where was the college incident?
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion. Is that in Virginia?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. There's another one, 4, because you had the Texas bar shooting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That turned out to be rated that way as well. Yeah,
so that's 4 acts of terrorism. Man, this Irish whiskey is tearing my stomach up. Golly. This is rough.
Yeah, so we love to not talk about politics, but we slip it in here every now and then because the shooter that killed the ROTC instructor, who I believe was the professor of military science there because he was the lieutenant colonel, Shaw, that was killed. Mm. The person who killed him was a former Army soldier specialist who was sentenced to, I believe, 11 years in prison for trying to recruit with ISIS.
Yeah, they charged him with like material support of a terrorist organization or something like that.
And he served 4 of those years, 4 or 5 of those years. And
he obviously learned his lesson and reformed.
And that's why the Biden administration let him go early on his term. And then 2 years after he was released, he walks into Old D and opens fire. Now, kudos to the ROTC cadets who were in there. They responded not by getting out their camera, not by hiding, but by tackling and stabbing and beating the guy to death and stabbed him, and he died on the spot. And that kind of goes back to, you know, all the training that we seem to do within our school districts and in businesses now, which is, what do you do when you have an active shooter? Right? And we're all taught the same thing, 3 things: run, hide, fight.
Yeah, I think the FBI is the one who put that out initially.
Well, I mean, it's a good training tool, and you could change it and adapt it any way, but it works because not everybody's going to be a fighter. Most people are going to be runners.
Or freeze in place.
Right. So you run. If you hear gunshots, the rule is you got to get out of there and get away from the incident the best way you know how. And the next one is to hide. If you can't get out, and you shut down the lights, you hide under a desk or behind a bookshelf, or
turn your phone on silent.
Yes. Don't make that mistake about the police saying, leave your phone on and so we can hear what's going on. And that's how the shooter was able to get that one school. I think that was Louisiana. And then we've learned our lesson there. And then the last one is fight, because you got nothing else to do. And you're just waiting for them to come in the door.
What I tell people is there's no such thing as a fair fight. So everything that you can grab is a weapon, and there are no rules, and there's no such thing as a fair fight.
Right. Use your pen. Hold your pen and start stabbing them in the neck.
Yeah, go for the eyes.
Yeah.
Groin and eyes.
Yep.
That's the good ones. Yeah, so good on those future soldiers, those ROTC cadets, for jumping into action. Men, young men.
Everyone.
And the incident in Michigan, the guy drove his truck into the Jewish temple. It was men who reacted to that and took him out. So you just have to be ready. You can't be paranoid, but you need to be prepared. And you have to present a hard target. Like, don't, these people are trying to attack soft targets, easy targets. And if you even just project power or strength or whatever, they're just going to go to somebody else, so even if your business has no real security, if you just put a sign on the front that says, employees are armed or whatever, so they're just, going to choose to go somewhere else because it's not worth the bother. It's kind of like having at your house, if you have an ADT sign in your yard, burglars just, they're like, well, I'll just go to the neighbor who doesn't have one. And you don't even have to have the security system, just a sign in your yard.
Projecting power is an interesting concept. Body language.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot you can do.
Man, I tell you what, walking with your head down, looking at your phone is the worst thing I see people do. Or if you're like on mass transit and you're just glued to your phone and you're not looking around at the people around you, and you have no situational awareness, especially young women. I see young women walking down the street in my neighborhood with their head down looking at a phone, completely oblivious to what's going on around them. And you have to keep your head up and just look at your surroundings. The
head tilt in the opposite direction, where you walk with your head up a little bit. You typically walk, with your chin up in the air some. That's also a poor sign.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For effective body language for others, when you're walking, you have your head straight and tilted down just slightly, so your chin's more of a more gentle downward angle, but you're not looking down, and you're still looking forward. That shows strength and a willingness to respond to what's going on around you. And people who are known perpetrators or agitators will pick up on that signal.
Yeah.
It's how you hold your head. Also, when you're walking, don't walk like a slouch.
Yeah.
For everybody who sits in their chairs all day long, learn how to get your posture and stand up and put your shoulders back a little bit. Yeah. Don't walk with your gut out. Hold your gut in some. Expands your chest.
Are you doing anything differently now that this war in Iran is kicked off? Are you behaving any differently than you were before?
I haven't done anything different.
I will say that I got a little complacent here in St. Peter's, in my cozy little neighborhood that's nice and safe and seemingly safe. And I just got a little lazy, honestly, with my security level. I think, going to sleep with the door unlocked. I wake up in the morning and the front door's unlocked. I was like, what the heck was I thinking?
I would only say my situational awareness is I'm a little bit more alert.
Yeah.
Looking around. But it's not like I'm gazing and flashing my eyes all over the place.
No. Just be aware.
Yes.
Kind of,
Still looking for the exits.
Mm-hmm. Always. Yeah.
Still looking for the close-in weapon. Is there something I can grab?
Yeah. Yeah, that can turn into hypervigilance, though, if you're not careful. You have to kind of like moderate.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Be careful. Like, don't go crazy on it. But
yeah, I don't even sit with my back to a wall anymore. I've gotten comfortable or confident enough. I don't have to sit with my back to a wall.
I think it really starts with your mindset as well. Is like, tell yourself, if something were to happen here, I'm going to act. I'm going to do something about it. Mm-hmm. And if you have that in your brain, just tell yourself that, like, I am dependable. Like, there's different preparations you could take. Obviously, you get some weapons training, get some martial arts training, medical training, whatever. Because of my background, I feel like I'm obligated to be prepared to help people if there's a medical emergency or a physical emergency. I feel like I'm obligated to do that. So I have to keep my skills sharp, because I don't want to be that guy be like looking over like, dude, you were a firefighter EMT. You didn't even do anything. What the heck? That ain't going to be me. Plus, a lot of people just don't have it in them to react aggressively to an emergency situation. I think it's a weird. Are we missing that part of of becoming a man, like a rite of passage? Do you think like we need to have that type of that? I think we've talked about this in some of our early shows. Mm-hmm. That rite of passage of going through something scary and tough and coming out the other end with that
crucible.
Confidence. Yeah.
The Marines actually call it the crucible.
Right. Yeah. The Army does it as well. It's like the very final field training exercises, and it's a big deal.
I don't know if the Army does anything at the end of it anymore, or
they did all. When I was a drill sergeant. It was like a beret donning.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah, it was. You go to the field, you do the 48 hours operations, and you do a 12-mile road march back in. So it's all your soldier skills that you learn in basic training you put into place, this field training exercise, and then you march in, and we would march them through. They had like tiki torches, like a path with tiki torches, and they march through, and then they come around, get in formation, and the commander and like the battalion commander and sergeant major are there, and then they're all carrying their berets in their cargo pocket, and then they take their patrol cap off, put the berets on, and that's like the final thing.
Okay,
it's not as cool as the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor Crucible thing
that the Marines do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've watched many videos of some Marines crying as they're getting handed it to them.
Yeah, and I think the Crucible's like a week long or something, isn't it? Or is it 48 hours?
No, I want to say it's 3 days.
3 days? Okay.
For me, I didn't have any of that when I went through training.
No, I did.
During my time. That didn't exist then, at least for the Army at that time. Mm-mm. But it is interesting to note about... Were you going to say something?
Well, I just remember the first time my drill sergeant called us soldier instead of turd or private or retard, Right. And then they were like, "Congratulations, soldiers! You're now U.S. Army soldiers officially." And we're like, "Whoa!"
I didn't even get that. I just remember as you got closer towards graduation, they weren't yelling all the time.
Yeah.
More often, they started just talking, drill instructors.
The cool thing that the Army does is, like, if you're in sapper school, ranger school, airborne, whatever school you go to, they call you, "Hey, sapper, come here." Instead of Sergeant so-and-so, they call you a sapper even before you get your tab, or they call you ranger, they call you airborne, because that gets it in your mind that I'm going to graduate and this will be my title. It's a psychological thing. It's really cool that they do that. They called us drill sergeant in drill sergeant school. But that was weird, because I was like, "You're screaming and yelling at me." I'm a drill sergeant.
True.
It's like going through basic training again. It sucks.
Right.
But yeah, good for these guys for stepping up, man. These young men.
Yeah, and purely coincidental, I started to catch other stories that were coming out this past week as well, and it dawned on me that I think what we might be seeing is a resurgence of honorable manhood. In that, rather than, and you're still going to have it, I mean, I still see it, rather than having a fight and all the guys standing around with their phones just filming it and going, "Oh," and weird stuff, but not responding or helping or jumping in.
Yeah.
I'm seeing more stories about men, young men in particular, who are jumping into the action of whatever's happening to put an end to what's happening.
Yeah. You had the guy, the former Marine in the subway in New York. They were trying to put him on, convict him of murder.
Yeah, he went through trial.
Yeah. But then you had, on the other hand, you had that.
But, here he is holding that dude down, and
nobody's helping.
Right.
Then you had the woman on the bus or the train in Charlotte that got stabbed, and people just ignored it, like pretend like they couldn't see it, whatever.
Yeah. Or you get the beat downs where everyone else just going,
yeah. But it seems like that stabbing of that girl in Charlotte, it was like people, this enough of this. This is
right. Something's been going on.
Yeah.
And other than the response from the ROTC cadets this past week, you had two teenage brothers at a Florida car wash closing down. It's all on video, and a axe-wielding robber comes to try and rob the place. Yeah. And one of the brothers, who is 18, immediately saw an opening and charged him, tackled him onto the concrete, and his brother runs over and gets the axe from him. And they hold him down until police can show up to take the guy away. And I thought that was great.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. You just don't stand there and take it. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I think, if the guy had a gun, I'd be like, I'm not dying for this. Car wash's $200 in the cash register. So
well, yeah, and if you saw the distance, if a guy pulled out a gun 14 feet away from you, yeah you're not going to do anything, because the hatchet guy was that, and he got a little bit closer, and the brothers got a little bit closer, and the charge by the one brother, I think, was 4 steps, 4 bounds before he tackled him.
Yeah, we ran that drill in the Army combative school. You're pretty much going to get shot or stabbed.
Yeah. Then you had the drunk dad beating up his wife, and the 13-year-old boy who was the son of them, mom and dad, and the 13-year-old boy wouldn't stand for his dad beating his mom, and jumped in and beat up his dad so bad, beat him to a pulp, knocked him out.
Dang, 13 years old.
Yeah. And, the dad was booked.
Good.
But
bum.
Kudos to the young men.
Yeah.
That I've been reading about this week.
It's
willing to stand up and protect others.
David and Goliath. Or David, everybody's laughing at him like, "Are you just a little shepherd boy? What are you going to do?" They're like, get back to the sheep, Dave. Like, let the men do the fighting. And he's like, "No, God told me to do this." And
classic bully syndrome.
Yeah.
But you see that some with the Olympics. The Winter Olympics that just took place. You had Jack Hughes and the U.S. hockey team.
Yeah.
Proud of the United States, bloody teeth, missing teeth, really, and celebrating their gold medal on the same day as 1982 when the Dream Team did it.
I think he still hasn't gotten his teeth fixed. I think he's
the miracle on ice against the Soviet Union.
Yeah, man. And we're massive underdogs. And showed that American spirit. And then the backlash from them being proud of their achievement and being proud to represent America. Right. And the great thing about hockey players is they don't give it. They're like,
no.
What are you talking about? I don't care what you think of me. I'm still going to be proud. Yeah, I'm going to the White House. It's an honor. I don't care who the president is. I'm representing the country, and we're going to celebrate.
Right.
They're just hockey players, for the most part, are just good dudes, man. Like they have a code of honor on the ice. Like, you don't go after the rookie. If you're going to fight somebody, you look them in the eye and say, "You want to go?" And if the guy says, "Yeah, all right, let's go," then you drop your gloves. Very rarely do you see one person attack somebody, where their back is turned. That's like totally. They have rules like when you're warming up, you don't cross the center line for warm-ups. If you cross the center line, then somebody from the other team is going to fight you. Like, it's just known. Or you hit their goalie. If your team, somebody on your team runs into their goalie, they're going to come back and fight him. And that's just because that's how it is. It's just these unwritten rules of manhood.
And you have the news media and other outlets constantly,
dude,
trying to downplay.
When is that going to die, man? Because, like, dude, everybody knows they're lying and that they're full of crap.
I think it's happening.
It's like,
again,
dude, enough of this, dude. I know, like, the late night shows are all dying off.
Yeah.
And the news media, like, I don't even know, does anybody even watch CNN anymore?
Yeah. Someday the View's going to go away. That cancer.
I don't watch it. I don't know if I've even seen 10 seconds of it.
I come across another article. This was dated March 9th. It originally appeared in The Atlantic. So you already know where this is going to go. The title was The Cynical, Gullible American Man. And I thought, well, that's interesting because I don't remember anything about this. What's happening that suddenly men are cynical and gullible?
Who's the author of this article?
It didn't say.
Oh.
It might say it at the end.
Okay.
But there was a term in here called, the bizarre epidemic of gullibility and cynicism, otherwise known as gullicism. So this is how I also know how the article is going to go, because it's nobody other than socialist liberal folks who come up with odd terminologies,
fake words,
new words to describe something because they're unwilling to use the language that exists.
Yeah.
So you have something called...
Well, that's the patriarchy made those words, so you've got to make new ones.
So you have something called gullicism.
Okay.
And a quote here, Gullicism that defines our age. Gullicist, a Gullicist.
Oh my gosh. Like a racist or a...
Right.
Yeah, okay.
See everyone's hidden motives, except when they don't. They are able to reject any claim rooted in actual evidence, whether in science, politics, or history, while embracing the most breathtakingly absurd assertions on the same topics. Indeed, documentation is often taken as further evidence of conspiracy, while assertion to this or that will detoxify your blood, or that COVID deaths were exaggerated, is taken as gospel. I'm going, all right, so I'm still trying to find out where the American man comes into this article.
Yeah.
So you get down a little bit further. Negative effects to seed oils or inorganic food. These are kind of examples. Others invest their life savings in crypto on the grounds that the paper currency collapses, foretold by gold bugs since the New Deal.
Okay.
Then you keep on going. There's this new thing called the new conspiracism.
Conspiracism?
Yeah. So it's not an ist, it's an ism.
Yeah.
It's the schism.
Right.
They portray a nation so disoriented by nonsense claims that people struggle to determine what is true. The new conspiracism is characterized by the absence of prescriptive solutions. It offers no notion of what should replace the reviled parties, processes, and agencies of government once covert schemes are revealed.
What?
I mean, this is a legit article.
ChatGPT wrote this.
Then it goes so far as to slam the U.S. Constitution.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
To some extent, all information is based on trust. We were not present for the Constitutional Convention of 1787. We have to trust that the records of that era are being interpreted accurately by historians, and that the records are accurate to begin with.
Oh, and of course it was men who did participate in that, and they should not be trusted as well, because,
Right.
they were racist and misogynist.
And then it keeps going on and on and on about how just because you're intelligent, I'm supposed to trust what you say, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go to slam President Trump,
of course,
and his advisors. They don't say it here, but they are comparing him with Joseph Goebbels and the master of propaganda for Adolf Hitler. They don't say it, but that's exactly where I'm getting at. President Trump and his advisors understand these dynamics very well. And then they talk about all their propaganda about justification and calling other people scum and they're sick and they're bad people and all kinds of great little things, and then calling everything else fake news. And then, there's a group of people who believe that.
Sure.
Then you get through, this is, 6 pages long?
Dang.
Nuts. Then it comes all the way to the end, and I don't know who Rufo is. Ruffo, R-U-F-O. I have no idea who that loser is. That said, blaming Rufo and other right-wing activists alone would understate the severity of the problem. We have a data economy that thrives on selling products we don't need or for problems we don't have, and a public that falls for these ploys, even as we think ourselves much too clever to be fooled. Nowhere in this article does it ever talk about men.
No.
And I'm going, what? I don't know.
I guess that's just because men are, we live in a patriarchal society and men are in control, and Trump's a man and Pete Hegseth is, a man. And
well, I think unless your hair is colored purple and green,
yeah,
you ain't reading that. Who
the hell even, do you subscribe to that?
No, I found it on a website.
You can't even, I wouldn't be able to sit through 2 paragraphs of reading that crap.
I know. I just kept getting more and more intrigued by where they're even going, other than bashing.
And it really didn't go anywhere. Like 6 pages of nothing.
They somehow, I think they were trying to somehow bash the American man.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're experiencing in real time the resurgence of the American man.
Yeah, and that's offensive to them, right? Because it's somehow a threat to have a more secure, safer society and a husband who takes care of his family. But I don't know. Do you think it's like the return of what we would call the traditional family values that is scaring these people to death because they're non-traditional?
I don't know that we're even there yet.
That they feel like they're going to be marginalized?
I don't know yet.
I don't know. I'd be curious to see what that person who wrote that article looks like. It's probably, I don't know, probably an effeminate man. That's what I'll say.
You were talking about traditional family values, marriage, all that good stuff. There was a report that came out based on some national survey or whatever on statistics that St. Louis, Missouri is the most lonely city in the country, in that there are more singles living alone in the city of St. Louis or in the St. Louis metro area than any other area of the country.
I can see that. That's because people want to be left alone here. Like, you just mind your own business and don't bother me. But also, I don't know if I should say this. I met my wife somewhere else. Let me have another drink. I'll probably say what I really want to say. I don't know why that is. That's weird. Let me think about it for a second. Why would St. Louis be considered the loneliest city in the country?
But only based on the stat that there are more singles living here than anywhere else. There are more singles, not necessarily lonely.
Does that count singles. Divorcees as well? Divorcees?
Well, wouldn't single be single?
Yeah. I would consider single people, I would say, never married. But
we're not the top for gonorrhea, so that's not the result. So I don't know.
But there's certainly St. Louis is this area, everybody's very friendly and nice, polite. They're actually nice people. In South Carolina, people were friendly, but they're not nice people. They're just have their mask on of Southern hospitality to your face. One of the sayings was they'll say, "Bless your heart," while they slit your throat. That's how.
Right, because "bless your heart" can also be a criticism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if somebody says that to me now, I get highly offended. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, F your mama, too.
Your mama. Your mama.
More singles. So is it St. Louis City? Or proper?
I want to say it's the St. Louis metro, so including the city.
The county and the city.
I think so.
Well, there's not a lot of places people go down there out in St. Louis County to hang out and meet people, right? Definitely not downtown. If anything, it'd be Westport or South County.
Yeah, unless
Maryland Heights,
Ballpark Village.
Kirkwood.
Everything else they try to open in St. Louis keeps shutting down. Yeah. You had that huge revitalization of the Armory, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just
Nobody wants to go down there, man.
No.
Even the Laclede's Landing's gone. That place was so cool. Go watch some live music.
Well, that peaked in the 90s.
That basically the tallest building in St. Louis, the AT&T building, is empty, vacant. They're trying to figure out what to do with it, talking about turning it into affordable housing apartments. Mm-hmm. So that'll turn out great. That should attract more people to go hang out downtown.
Yeah. But the only other thing you have is the City Museum, Union Station.
Yeah, Ballpark Village,
the zoo, Forest Park,
Cardinals,
anything in Forest Park School.
Yeah. Art museum is awesome. But, even going to a Blues game, it's like you got to Uber straight to the arena. It's not like you're walking from blocks. I mean, we stayed at Union Station one time we went to the game, and we took an Uber to this. But there were some people who would walk from Union Station over to the arena.
I hear the presence down there is a lot better.
Oh, there's cops everywhere, man.
Yeah.
There's cops everywhere. You can't walk outside a crosswalk without getting yelled at by a cop down there. But meanwhile, go through North City, go down Page towards downtown to the Fox Theater. Drive that way. It looks like Ukraine. It's crazy. Burned out, crumbling buildings and rubble, and it's insane looking. It's super sad, man. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, and all the abandoned buildings that are owned by certain people.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the city council down there is impotent when it comes to telling the owners of these properties to clean them up and rent them out or sell them.
Yeah.
Or demolish it.
Yeah, what they're doing is just sitting on it until the city turns around so they can sell it and make a profit. They're just owning property to sell and whatever. That's cool, man. But dang, at least tear the crappy buildings down. It literally looks like there was a bombing raid that happened up there.
It's sad, yeah.
It's really sad. And does that have something to do with people being single and lonely in St. Louis? Because there's just nowhere, like you just stay in your house and stay off the streets, don't go to the movies with people. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird stat.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff running through my head right now about
crickets.
So how are we, you and I, what are we doing to be the men that we want to be, that we talk about?
Well, for me, clearly it's honoring my faith, following it. And people are going to say, well, what is that? And we can discuss that.
Yeah, like the ultimate man, the most masculine form would be Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Sacrificial and unafraid he knew his mission here on this earth, and he was unafraid. Well, I mean,
but I think he
did what he had to do. Not that he was unafraid, but
if you're trying to broadly define ourselves, how is it that we're doing what we're doing?
Yeah.
I think we have to think holistically.
Yeah,
it's
for
not
sure.
that you're good in one thing, but you're terrible in everything else. So, you're trying to build your character, your conviction on something. Mm-hmm. You're a protector.
Yeah.
You're a provider.
Yes.
And you're a leader.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do that officially. Like, I'm not a leader in my job or something like that, but
right.
You can be a leader in your home. You can be a leader among your friends.
Well, you could lead by example without being in the position.
Yep. But I think also we strive for excellence. We're trying to master ourselves, right? Always trying to get better. And we live with integrity. I say it over and over again. It's not what you do when people are watching.
Yeah.
It's what you do when people are not watching.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sitting at a stoplight and everybody else around you you don't know anybody there, are you going to drive through it because there's no cars coming?
Right.
I see that a lot. Well, you're violating your own principles right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So like me at my job, I'm by myself quite a bit, but I'm the safety man. So I'm the manager. I'm in charge of the safety for everybody in the company. Could I jump in my side-by-side and go ride somewhere without putting my seatbelt on real quick? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But you never know when you're going to turn a corner and somebody will be right there. But I can't, in good conscience, most of all, my integrity tells me, put your seatbelt on because you're setting the example here. You should be the one everybody looks to as the safest, or he's setting the example. Practice what you preach, all that stuff.
Right.
Because the first time you don't, they're going to be like, "Oh man, this dude's full of crap."
Are you a gossip? Do you talk about others when you're with your friends or those that you might work with? Or are you always talking bad about somebody? Mm-hmm. When that kind of thing comes out of you as a person, people are not going to come to you to ask for advice or assistance.
And there might be a difference between venting. You could vent to your friends, but if it's gossip, it's like constantly talking about, trivial stuff that, it's like, what are you doing, dude?
But I think ultimately it comes down to selfless service.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Because we have a higher calling.
Sure.
Right? We follow Jesus. Mm-hmm. And our mission is to serve others. That's what we're supposed to do. And it comes in many, many different varieties. It could be as simple as, my wife is not doing well at home and nobody else is stepping up. I'm just going to do the dishes just to get them done. Does it bug me? Yeah, it bugs me. But I also know that I have a responsibility that I should just step in there and get them done and move on. Because you know what? 8 minutes is not going to ruin my day.
It's more the principle of it that would bother me. Like that. That's frustrating. But who else is going to do it? Who else but me? Right? That's the type of thing.
And I'm not a fan of that mentality. Walking around going, who else but me?
Right.
I don't think that's a good way to approach it because you're going to turn something down or you're going to reject something.
You'll get resentful.
Yes.
Yeah, after a while.
It's always, what can I do for others? How can I help someone else? You always feel better.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, I do. I think if you actually try it and are consistent, you will find out that you do kind of feel better. Do you hold the door for folks? Do you help people carry things? If someone asks you for a favor, are you willing to just do it and not expect anything back? Your coworkers that you see every single day, you know that they all have a different hobby or something they enjoy, and you happen to be at a store and their name comes in because you saw something. Are you going to walk past it, or are you going to take that one extra step and pick up that little trinket or that candy bar or whatever, and the next time you see them, go, hey, I was thinking of you the other day.
There you go.
You would be amazed at the responses of others on small things like that.
So where do you think a young man should start? For me, I think it's the self-awareness thing, like doing an assessment, and an honest assessment of who you are and your strengths and weaknesses and that kind of stuff. But what do you think, Kevin?
Well, did we talk about the ADHD thing?
No.
Okay, so there's a new study that came out that is debunking the entire ADHD era against
Speaking of ADHD,
boys.
You just completely changed the subject from the question I asked.
Well, I'm going there.
Okay.
With boys.
Okay, yeah.
There huge rise, late 90s, into the 2000s. We're always telling boys, sit still, be quiet.
Yeah.
And boys can't function that way.
No.
They're always moving.
They want them to be more like girls. That's what it was.
Yes. Compliant.
Yeah. And it's not anything
and
wrong
a boy
with
who's active is still compliant. He's still listening.
Yeah.
But his brain is wired differently. He's wired for action. That's how he was created.
It's called multitasking. Men are made to multitask.
So everybody's finding out now that ADHD is not ADHD classically the way it's been defined. It's not a mental disorder for many. It's the fact that we just tell everybody to be compliant, sit still, and behave themselves.
Yeah.
So, for instance, that my daughter, she belongs to a homeschool group. Once a week, she meets in a classroom by a regular teacher, teaches a topic, and the boys there in that room are allowed to play with the Rubik's Cube, do push-ups while the instructor's talking, all that, and they perform magnificently.
Yeah. I would
in their
imagine
classes.
if it's disruptive to the other students, they would tell them, hey, tone it down. But up to that point where it's disruptive, are they pretty much allowed to do whatever?
Right. So in answer to your question, I don't think you're going to get a young man to really sit down and try and do some kind of selfless service, critique, or get himself to write something out.
Yeah.
You're going to get a few to do that. It's going to be about doing. So my thing is, how do you start? Well, you start with your family. Start close, and then have a ripple effect and just move out. You start close. How can you help your mom? How can you help your dad? You know, they're always yelling at me about doing the trash. Maybe I'm just going to do the trash and
Without being asked.
and wow them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the trash is done. I can't believe it. I don't have to say anything to my son. Or mow the lawn. We're getting into that season. And then spread it out some. And just start, if you see something, step in. That's it.
I think they should start with the Bible. Like, read the Bible, man. Read the scriptures. Like, go and read the story of David and Goliath, or see the flaws that men in the Bible had, and the triumphs and the failures, and then get. That's where I think they should start, and you see where the prototype you should follow, type of thing, and I think the other stuff will come. And as a man matures, I think, this self-reflection, the introspection for me didn't start until I was like in my 30s, I wasn't I don't know if I still am a deep thinker or whatever, but I am self-critical, and I can sit and measure my strength versus my weaknesses and things I need to improve on, and I'll be honest with myself and that kind of stuff. But that didn't start until I was like in my 30s, man. So maybe my brain just wasn't developed enough in my 20s to do that.
I can't speak on that.
I'm always amazed at kids who are like, yeah, I'm going to college and I'm going to earn a degree when I'm 18 to 21 years old. I'm like, whoa, how do you make that decision when you're 18? I was like, girls and fast cars and army. That's all I cared about. I was a knucklehead. Still am. I try. Try to do my best, man. I promise. And a lot of stuff I say, I'm like, after I say some things, I'm like, man, I should really take my own advice.
All the time. Yep.
So this goes back to our mentor show when we had James Strong on. If young men, find a mentor. Go to your father. Ask him, how do you tie a tie? You show me how you shave. That kind of. If your dad hasn't done that with you, be the man. Step up. Ask. Say, hey, Dad, you're going to the gym later. Can I go with you? Your dad will probably break down in tears. Be happy about.
Always ask.
Yeah. I'm excited to have my son is going to be born in June. My third son. My fourth technically. And we had one baby that didn't make it into this world. Went straight to heaven. But we still count him, and we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but we just felt it was a boy, so we named him. But Jack will be here around June 14th. And now that I'm a more mature, seasoned, and experienced man, raising a young boy and training him to be a man, I'm excited for that adventure. And I'm doing it from a completely different perspective from my first two boys when I was 21 when my first son was born, and now it'll be I have a lot more wisdom to pass along, and I'm fully prepared for the eventuality where he'll not want to hear any of it, because I think that's how I was when I was a kid. Didn't want to hear anything from anybody. So both ways, I'm ready. I got the experience. I have the scars. I got the. I'm ready. Whether he wants my wisdom or he rejects it, I'm ready to take it. We'll see how it goes, man.
After about 20 minutes of him running in circles around you, you're going to pass out on the chair.
Yeah, probably. Dad, come on. Let's go play football. Let's wrestle. Let's go ride bikes. I'm like, son, you understand I'm half dead. I'm an old man. Nah, should be fun.
It's all, there are so many things you can go, so many different ways. We've talked so many different ways about being a man, and so many different variations. It all just comes down to being true to yourself and doing what's right. Don't give in to temptation.
If you do give in to temptation, be forgiving of yourself, and then fix it and move forward.
But it's small things too. Just take care of the small things.
Make your bed. Clean your butt. Make a budget.
Right.
That's the easy stuff.
I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, there's a million books out there you can read. You're going to get something out of every single book.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. I think, also for women, you need to hold your men accountable to be the man that you expect them to be. Be forgiving, show grace and mercy, and
show support, respect
them, respect them. Yeah, that's a big one. Men are big on respect, and I know I poke my chest out a little bit when my wife's like, "I'm so proud of you. You're really doing a good job taking care of us and all that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the king of this castle." So words do matter for men, even though sometimes you can't see it on our face. I'm very grateful for my wife. I know that for sure, man. I was a mess when I met her. She straightened me out.
I'm grateful for your wife.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's a saint. Awesome. Let's see. We're an hour 17 in, Kevin. Is there anything else that is on your mind lately?
No, I was actually trying to pull stuff out of my head for this show.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just been weird.
Oh, St. Patrick. I was talking. He was kidnapped when he was 16 years old from England.
I actually don't know anything about him.
He was, so March 17th is a feast day declared early 17th century. I got this from my Aunt Dot. This is a gospel tract that she hands out at the St. Patrick's Day parade. But it has some really cool facts on it, too.
Just because it's a gospel tract, does that make it accurate and true?
I would hope so.
Okay. I don't know.
I would hope you would tell the truth.
I didn't know if you're selling me some Gullicism.
Gullicism. So this says that Patrick was born in the late 4th century, approximately 385, in what is now northeast England. He was born among the Celtic Britons to a Romanized family of Christians. His father was a deacon, but his parents' faith didn't find a place in his heart early on. In his youth, according to George Hunter, he lived toward the wild side. So he was a normal boy, right? He was kidnapped at the age of 16 by Irish raiders and taken back to Ireland, where he served as a slave for 6 years under a tribal chief, who was also a druid, which is a magician, soothsayer in the ancient Celtic religion. While a slave in Ireland, God opened his eyes to the gospel of his childhood. As a captive, he came to understand the Irish Celtic people and their language and culture. When he eventually escaped from slavery, he was a changed man, now a Christian from the heart. And eventually he made his way back to Ireland to serve the people and bring the gospel to them. This is a pretty cool story, man. And I don't know, she left off the part about him leading all the snakes out of Ireland. So maybe that was true or untrue. I don't know. Fake news?
Don't know.
So if you see a nice lady handing out gospel tracts down at the St. Patrick's Day parades, give her a hug for me. That's my Aunt Dot. I love my Dottie Dot. And I want to get her on the show one day. She's really cool. Very interesting to talk to. Very smart. And she's on fire for the Lord. That's for sure.
Cool. A good Irish movie would be The Quiet Man with John Wayne.
Oh, yeah?
Maureen O'Hara.
I would say The Boxer.
Well, John Wayne is a boxer in the movie.
Yeah, but he probably never had a real boxing match in his life. Because, you know, according to Sergeant Major Basil Plumley, you know how he feels about John Wayne. Yep. Daniel Day-Lewis plays the boxer, and he actually went to a boxing gym and had boxing matches and then made that movie. But yeah, what's it called? The
Quiet Man.
The Quiet Man. Okay, maybe we'll check it out. I like watching some of those old movies with my baby boomer friend here. It's great. Good education.
Well, it's not a movie to watch with me and watch with your wife.
Oh, is it a girly, like a lovey-dovey movie?
A little bit of both.
Oh, okay.
You'll both like it.
Oh, all right. Maybe we'll watch that tonight then. If we can stop watching The Pit on HBO. We've been watching that lately about the emergency room in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
But it's a dramatization. It's funny because they like pack every single possible emergency that could possibly happen in an emergency room into one season because they were like, we might not get season 2. Let's do it all. It's everything. But I'll tell you what, some of those parts in there triggered a little bit of anxiety in me, man. Some flashbacks for me where I was like, holy crap, that's very realistic. And a lot of it was like the pace of things, of how things are said and done. Got me like worked up, man. I had to take a break. And there's the one where a story about a veteran in there that got to me, and I was like, oh, I got to turn this off for a second. I need a glass of water. But one of the doctors, the attending doctors, is a veteran himself, so he has like this combat medicine experience that he brings, and it's pretty cool. There's some wokeness to it, though. That is maddening. They had a gender neutral bathroom that a woman has a miscarriage in. Or no, it wasn't the miscarriage. It was the 17-year-old girl who wanted to have an abortion, locked herself in the gender neutral bathroom, and her mom was trying to get her out of there, but the staff at the ER were talking the mom into letting this 17-year-old girl get an abortion pill. I was pretty pissed about that. That was gross. But, yeah, for the most part, it's cool to see him, like, putting chest tubes in and tourniquets, and that's my jam. Caitlin's constantly covering her face. Like, oh, this is disgusting.
I hardly ever watch TV anymore.
I don't watch network TV, like news, Fox News or CNN or ABC, NBC, all that bull crap. I don't watch that. Nope. Very specific watching, and usually I fall asleep while we're watching. So when we pick up the next day, I'm like, what is going on here? I missed like an hour. She's like, oh yeah, you were asleep at 8 o'clock.
I know one thing. I can't wait to get back to bourbon next week because I think drinking this has just killed all my brain cells.
Yeah, this was a bummer.
Like, it's not firing my brain. No. It's not killing the cells.
Well, I think there's no nuance to it. It's basically
nothing.
A spirit, like a vodka, that has a little bit of flavoring added to it, but very, very, very little.
It's almost like you had a bourbon or a scotch or something with one of them giant ice cubes.
Yeah, yeah.
And you let the whole thing melt.
Yeah.
And then decided to drink it.
Like an hour later.
Kind of like the Jack Daniels experience with Frank Sinatra. I don't know how anybody could drink that.
That is exactly what this is like.
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
a watered down Jack Daniels.
It's kind of weird.
It is. Yes. Yeah, it'd be nice to get back next week. We'll do a good bourbon. I almost feel like maybe we should do like a Jim Beam or a Wild Turkey or something. That's like just a good, strong American male bourbon. What's the one you had on deck?
Well, I'm not saying.
Oh, okay. Tune in next time, folks, to see what we taste. And
I might not even bring it up next time.
Hopefully it's not an utter disappointment like this one was. Thank you for sticking in. If you're still listening, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're a trooper.
How you're able to last 90 minutes on this show. Good luck. I'm grateful.
You can connect with us on Facebook and Spotify and YouTube, the Headspace and Tasting Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Leave us the comments. We'll always respond. If you want to give us a suggestion, recommendation for a bourbon, you can email us at showmemk@gmail.com. Nobody has taken us up on that offer yet. Bunch of cowards.
No, and you don't have to comment and tell us this is the most boring show you've ever heard, because we already know that.
Yeah, we know. This is a stinker. Oh, man. Dude, I've been up since 3 a.m. for no good reason whatsoever. I just woke up at 3, and then we went hiking at 6:30. What was it, 7 miles? How long was it?
5.2.
Oh, dude, it felt like 12 to me. 5.2, and then I came home and did the proper old man thing, took a shower, then straight in bed for a nap. And you know those naps, like those ones that hit you where you're like, what day is it? When you wake up, you're like,
you don't want to wake up?
What happened? Yes. Where am I? Why do I feel 10 times as tired as I was before I laid down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those, man. So it's going to be an early night for me. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.